Hi. If you're aware, in the market there's so many used car sellers, and you don't know what you're purchasing. So if you're buying a vehicle, for instance, today we have Bentley Continental for inspection, but you're not aware what you can actually get. So where the CarExamer comes into place, it's a CarExamer's online marketplace. We have great ethical mechanics with the right attitude to carry out the inspection for you. So what would inspection help you, and why would you need one, and how it will help you? So when an inspector arrives on an inspection, he meets the seller, wherever their reception is. They check the V5C to see who previously owned the vehicle, just to see if it's a business or private seller. They also check the service history to see how the vehicle has been serviced, maintained, and so that's an information to start understanding when inspector goes through the vehicle, so you can understand the nature of how the vehicle is. Has it been maintained according to the maintenance schedule, or comparing the maintenance and the mileages, how the vehicle has been driven, by the wear and tear on the interior, the mileage, how the vehicle drives, checking underside of the vehicle for any leaks, carrying out diagnostic scans on the vehicle twice, before the road test and after the road test. On certain type of inspections, obviously there are conventional roof checks, sunroof operation checked, door locking, key operation, both keys, if the blades are working in a door locks, if the keyless entry is working. There's different type of keys. When you're walking away, the car locks and unlocks. The battery tests are carried out on a vehicle for this vehicle, for instance. There are two types. There are two batteries. Two types. One is AGM battery. If you know what is AGM battery, start and stop systems battery. The vehicle turns off at the traffic lights and restarts. So it's got a different type of battery. So it also has a starter battery, a backup battery. When the auxiliary battery goes flat, there's a sequence, say for instance on this vehicle, how to override it and not using jump starts, actually starting this vehicle. So both of the batteries are tested to see their condition, checking the charging of the vehicle. Obviously the safety items like tires, the brakes, the frequencies. So there will be an opinion given if they need replacing. CarExamer has their own standard, at least 50% on a brake pads all the way around, at least 5mm on the tires. That's what you should be looking for when you're buying a car. Obviously handbrake operation. When it comes to the engine bay area, we're checking VIN numbers. If the VIN numbers are matching, the chassis number, the VIN number, chassis number would be the same. Vehicle identification number, some people refer it to chassis number. So you're checking if that is matching the logbook, to make sure. So those things, if you're buying privately, you would not be able to check because you are under pressure, and there's so many things going on. You like the car, you don't like the car, and then you listen to the seller. Can you trust him or you can't? So that can be taken out of the equation. So you can get an inspector out to have a look on the vehicle, then you can talk to the inspector after the inspection. Normally we'll get the report in 3 to 5 hours in your private account. You've got a shareable link, you can share it also to the seller. There will be potential repair costs added. You can discuss any issues with the inspector, and then once you feel confident, the VIN numbers are checked, everything else is checked, and you have a positive response from the inspector, or on some occasions there are some where you have to make your own decision. Maybe there is too much cost to rectify the vehicle to get it to the acceptable standard. Obviously in those situations you can negotiate the price with the seller. With the trade sellers are different. If there are any issues, obvious, most of the times, 9 of the 10 times, they will be rectified by the seller. It's safer, obviously, buy it from the trade, as you can have some sort of consumer rights as well. So when it comes to the private seller, right, you have to do your own due diligences. You have to do your car history checks. You have to make sure that person is legit. You have to make sure the person has the right to sell the car. That means you need to see the purchase invoice, V5C, always the safest place to make sure his ID matching the V5C location, to make sure that car is at the location, that is the right person, and obviously any other issues what I just discussed in this video, like VIN numbers are matching, so there's not sort of particular clone car or somebody pretends to sell in the vehicle on behalf of somebody else, the IDs, that's where you need to go through it. It's so don't buy the car on the same day, don't rush and don't make a mistake. That's where most of the mistakes are happening. When you're buying a vehicle at the same day, you rushed, you haven't checked the car, you have so much going on in your mind is blowing up, and then you feel sorry, so that's why it's important. Get it checked. Check the vehicle, even if you don't check it, or if you don't get somebody to check it, just get somebody with you, so let they check the VIN numbers and things like that. Have a think, run your car history checks to make sure there's no outstanding finances, the car is not written off, because the private seller don't have to let you know about any such things. And you can buy a dog, and what I mean by dog, you can buy a problem, which will be more likely with you for some time, until you're going to go if the police will be involved, if you hand over the money to the person who doesn't have a right to sell the vehicle, and you haven't asked the purchase invoice, etc. Police will seize the vehicle, and you will not have your money more likely back until court proceedings, criminal proceedings will go through it. So double measure. Get somebody to check the car. So when you're buying a car, signing over to your name, always transfer the money to the bank account. The IDs have to match. Who has the right to sell the vehicle? He has to be here. Unless he have a solicitor's letter, some sort of form officially signed where he has a right to sell the vehicle, which is different and can be also obviously validated by you. So there's so much you need to go through it. So I'm not saying you have to get an inspection, but in a context of inspection, depends how much the car costs. The battery costs £150, one key costs £180, so these are the telltale signs which helps you to understand what value you're getting. For 150, 180 or 200, 250 pounds, you have so much information which you more likely will only get in next year or 2 or 3 years. But by doing an inspection, you're getting value. So that means everything will be checked: the charging system, the batteries, how it drives, how it handles vibrations, audible noises, diagnostic scans before the road test, after the road test, to try to eliminate and catch out some maybe even latent defects. But latent defects can't be found, they develop over the time. But if somebody checks the car and they are knowledgeable, they learned in school, they had practice at the businesses before they developed their skill as a mechanic, as a technician, so they catch up some senses of what can be potentially wrong, what can be going wrong, even if there's nothing at a moment wrong with the vehicle, but some telltale audible noises, some telltale maybe some sort of vibration can bring some sort of clarity what will happen in the future. So you will be ready when these things are happening, and then you can have a decision, logical: should you go and risk, or should you not go and try to find something better? Because every car is driven differently, maintained differently. You don't know the person who was driven it, etc. And some cars will have much more wear and tear on interior. Some cars will have much more wear and tear on the outside of the vehicle. Some cars will have, if both of those items I mentioned, absolutely fine. But then you have engine issues. or the leaks, or maybe some previous repairs which has been carried out, you know, and some of the things might put you off, you know. So always is the best thing is, you haven't driven a vehicle, go somewhere to the sellers who sell in loads of these cars, like car supermarkets, have a sit in, have a feel, and you might not even be on the right vehicle, you know. So it's not like just buying a car, you will go and buy the car. You need to feel it. Maybe it's not for you. It's based on what car you had before. You haven't driven this week, haven't felt the interior, haven't felt the steering wheel, how the seats are positioned, you know, how the doors are opening, anything, how you feel behind the wheel. And at those points you might change the decision because you're not in the right car. So you would only do the inspection when you know the make and model is right for you. This is what you want. If you want the Bentley, it's for you. You feel it, you know how it feels, and you will be satisfied. If you haven't had it, or you jumping from Mazda to BMW, you know, it's important. So to make sure you eliminating most of the risks, feel the car, go somewhere where they have many vehicles. If you don't like this particular vehicle, because that vehicle will have significantly much more wear and tear, you can go and check those 15 vehicles, find the right one which is the best for you, which one the color, the interior, the spec maybe, you know, and then you finalize that. That would be the most sensible thing to do. If you jump in from one make to another make, go to car supermarket, just browse through all of the cars, sit in, check it, and then once you find the right vehicle, get it inspected. You know, it will save you time and money, hassle later on dealing with some warranty issues with the trade seller, especially, you know, coming in, buying a car, going away, coming back, giving a car away, and then you don't have a car because they looking into your claim, etc. Get it inspected. That's what we do. Be safe. I hope this video helps you. If you do find that interesting, just click on the link, follow, or subscribe. Share with somebody who doesn't know anything about the cars. We're here to help. We have great people. Even if it's a platform, we have to protect our business, but we have a great ethical mechanics who know what they do. And their goal is to look after you, to look after your interests, to make sure you know everything about a vehicle and you can get the best deal, get a seller to rectify it, and at the end of the day, if you buy it privately, get some extended warranty, which protects you if you're buying privately, just in case something goes wrong, because the inspection is not prevention of the breakdown in the future. You know, like a brand new car comes with the warranty, you need to protect yourself when buying from private seller or from trade seller, at least minimum 12 months warranty, because things happen in the first 12 months. Trust me. CarExamer.com. What we do, we're helping you to make the right decision. Take care.